San Francisco 49ers crushed, and I mean crushed, the New York Giants in Week 9 in New York. And we're going to break it down right here on the Wayne Breezie Show. We're going to go over some grades, plays, stats, and all that good stuff. Smash that like button, faithful, and keep it faithful to the best.
So bright that we shining. All we know is the Niners. Ready to go, that is finest. So faithful to the best. I be sipping gold bar, whiskey on the rocks, and a 24-karat gold on a watch. My 7-1 Chevy be tipping non-stop, sounding like Trent Williams on the block. So you know we can't stop, we be banging through your speakers. Wayne Breezie on the field or in the bleachers. You can tune into my show and I'm a teacher. Wayne Breezie, the 4-9 preacher. We so bright that we shining.
What's going on, faithful to the base? Your boy Wayne Breezie, and we are in the building, back for another Wayne Breezie Show, and it's Victory Monday. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's always a good time when the 49ers win, especially when they win the way they won in New York. My side of the town, my side of the country, you know, like the East Coast Niners came. They traveled well, and they packed a punch, a powerful punch, to knock out the New York Giants. I don't want to hear, oh, it's the New York Giants. The Giants, let me just explain something. The Giants went into that game expecting to win, and they believed, they were confident. They were confident. I was watching some of the Giants clips from the pressers and stuff like that. Them players were pissed when they started to realize, dang, we ain't do this, we ain't do that. They were pissed. They definitely felt they had an opportunity to defeat the San Francisco 49ers, which every team should. I would never go into a game thinking I'm going to lose a game. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I tip my hat to those dudes, man. They balled out. They played hard. They fought to the very end. If you watched the game, if you were at the game, you know, you felt confident that your Niners were going to run away with it at a certain point in the game. But the Giants, man, they just kept calling back. They got a quarterback. I will say this. The San Francisco Giants, the New York Giants, they used to be the San Francisco Giants. The New York Giants, they used to be the baseball team New York Giants back in the day. But the New York Giants definitely, and they got themselves a quarterback. They do. Jackson Dart is going to be a problem, I think, for years to come. As long as they continue to build around him, he looked really good out there. And the Niners didn't really have an answer for Jackson Dart. They had an answer for everything else. I think he was their leading rusher, if I'm not mistaken. They didn't have an answer for Jackson Dart. But we'll talk about all that stuff. We'll break all that stuff down. I'm just so happy that it's Victory Monday, that you guys are here rocking out with your boy Breezie. And we're talking Niners football, right? Shout out to the Breezie Bunch crew one time in your mind. Appreciate your crew. The crew is with me, man. I had people out there, patrons, members, family, fans, friends, loved ones. You know, we were just out there in New York celebrating and having a good time, ready to kick this game off. We had fun this weekend. Shout out to John Chapman and the 49ers Rush road trip crew. Shout out to my man Nick, Vicky, and their Gold Rush gear crew. They got Gold Rush gear. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start wearing the Gold Rush gear that I have for them. I don't have it on. I had to give my neck a break because I got one of these chains with the big 49ers thing. It's pretty heavy, so I had to give my neck a break. But shout out to them as well. I promise I'll wear it on the next show so you guys can see what I'm rocking with. But if you check out my pictures that I'm posting or videos that you see me, you'll see the Gold Rush gear that I'm rocking. Shout out to them as well. But listen, it was just a fun time. Food was great. The atmosphere was great. You know what was really great? The weather. I did not expect the weather to feel like it was Bay Area weather. That was the moment. And you can ask anybody I spoke to. I said, guys, this is the moment where I felt like the Niners were going to blow this team away, which I felt like they did, even though the score was only a 10-point difference, right? I said the weather's too nice. It's the 49ers are coming to the East Coast, and they've been granted good weather, you know. So the Niners did their thing. They definitely did their thing. PG in the building. Happy Victory Monday, Breezie and everyone. Have a great day and a great show. Appreciate you, Peachy. Thank you so much. Don't bother me in the building. It's time for member shout outs, guys. Boats, what's going on? Have a great show, Breezie, and everyone. We'll watch later. Man, have a good day at work. Joel, what up, baby? I told you we were going to win, dog. I told you. And it sucked because you were here. I don't know if you were here this week, but I know you were here last week. We were in Houston. I thought we should have won that game too. Whole different conversation. But I felt like this was going to be a great win. Like you said, much needed win, Joel. But at what cost? All right, we're going to talk about that cost in a little bit. Stephanie, what's going on? Good morning, Faithful. Good morning, Wayne. Happy Victory Monday. How is everyone? Well, I'm feeling great. I was battling like this cold or whatever, like all week. So you can hear it in my sinuses. I think it was like a little sinus infection, whatever. Sudafed helped knock that out for sure. Still dealing with it, but it's going away. But I'm feeling great, not just because of the win. I think it was the way we won. I really want to focus on that today's episode. Like the way we won, I thought was really good. You know what I'm saying? Niner Faithful, Rams and Seahawks, bruh, they tough, man. They tough. We knew that the NFC West this is the year of the NFC West. It kind of changes every single year. Which teams get which conference? Which division is going to be the most dominant? And right now, you look at the NFC West, and we're just some fighters. We are fighters. All teams are built differently. All teams are winning in different ways. If you're a Seahawks fan watching this, Sam Darnold is definitely, he has his moments, but he's definitely helping your team out big time. What a great acquisition for you guys to get Sam Darnold. And figuring that out. And looks like the defense is finally coming around, being what McDonald wanted the defense to be. You look at the Rams. I mean, it's just Sean McVay and company, right? And so the health of Puka Nacua, the acquisition of Devontae Adams, I mean, and it's just extending the life of old man Matt, right? Like he's just going to be around. So they look dangerous, right? Their defense is young, fast, and furious. I think that the Seahawks and the Rams defenses are right now at this point kind of light years ahead of the Niners. I hate to say it, but they're young and they've been building over several years. The Niners are young too, but they lost a lot of their core key pieces to the defense. So if I had to tip my hat to any one of those teams, those defenses are intact. Now, every team is always an injury away from being different. Not wishing injury upon anybody out there, but that's just the way it is. This is football, right? And you look at the Niners. I mean, if you had Fred Warner, you had Nick Bosa, it'd be a totally different conversation, but we don't. So that's the reality of it. But those teams' defenses are, I think I don't want to say light years, but they're definitely on schedule, and they have a lot more cohesiveness to them because those players were brought in and they've grown together. So they're kind of figuring it out. We're patching stuff together, right? Speaking of that, we got trade deadline coming up. We'll talk a little bit about that. Snoop, what's going on? Cousin Snoop always in the building, man. But yeah, like it's just a lot. I see questions out there. When are we signing Chubb? Then look, I just know that Chubb, if I'm not mistaken, the reports are saying that they're asking for a 3rd round pick for Bradley Chubb. I'm on the phone with John now. I'm like, listen, dog, it sounds like the Bengals are asking for a 1st round pick for Trey Hendrickson. I don't think anybody's going to be willing to give up a 1st round pick, but we'll see how that pans out. Maybe you give up a 2nd round pick with a condition to it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how that's going to pan out. I mean, it just seems like Arden Key, from my insiders, I just feel like Arden Key is the safe bet. He's not going to cost you a lot. He's a veteran. He knows the system. He excelled in this system. I know he's older. I know the production hasn't been the same with Tennessee, but look at what Cleveland Farrell did in his first game back. We'll talk about his pressures. We saw the sack. I mean, that was a big hit, too, on top of that. I mean, he's running around the football field, chasing guys down, chasing down Jackson Dart and stuff like that. So it just seems like guys that know this system, they know the nuances of the system, they might just be the right pieces. And then the Niners don't necessarily, for Arden Key, they don't have to spend a first, second, or a 3rd round pick, right? You could probably get him for a 6th or 7th round pick. You know what I'm saying? So Who knows what they're going to do? They might not even make any moves at this point. I mean, they're going to have to make a move. We got to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have to make a move. How big the move is going to be, I don't know. What's going on, baby? He says the NYC takeover was in full effect. Listen, y'all was downtown. I mean, y'all were midtown. What is that? 42nd Street. Y'all. I was like, dang, they were holding it down on that Saturday. But yeah, Sunday, it was just amazing. Like the red and gold that was in the building, like the red, just beautiful, right? Tanisha, what's going on, sis? Good morning to you as well, Mr. Ty. We sit here texting each other throughout the game. That's why I love this dude right here, right? Like we were texting and I was just like, oh man, like, I'm hoping it's not what it is even. I'm trying to be as optimistic as I can be about the injury to Michael Williams, right? Because he did get up and walk off the field. Not only did he walk off the field, he actually walked into the locker room like with no help. So I was being optimistic. I think at this point in my life, I think I'm starting to understand ACL injuries, you can walk. You just can't run. You know, you can't cut, you can't do any of that. No lateral movement. Front to back movement, I think you could do. I think it's you know, that's just what it is. So it's tough because we saw Nick Bosa do the same thing, put the thumbs down. You know, it was just weird. Shout out to Nigel, a member of the channel. He just gifted a member to the Breezy Bunch crew. If you were gifted the membership, please put it in here. Thank you. So I can go ahead and shout you out. And shout out to Nigel. Thank you for sending out that gift as well. And we got a super chat contribution. My man Ty. Ty, bro, you have been supporting, man. I appreciate this. He says, Happy Victory Monday. CMC breaking records. We're gonna talk about that, man. That's what I'm talking about. We're gonna talk about the dog Mac, the Mac Daddy. I like Mac Jones. I like his swag. I'm not gonna hold you. I love it. I love everything about the kid's demeanor. And then he's quirky too, you know? Like he's still corny. You know what I'm saying? But he's got swag. I don't know what he wore to the pregame. When I'm at the game, I don't really get a chance. I don't be online like I normally do when I'm there because I'm with the crowd. I'm with the fan base, the community and stuff like that and just interacting. So I don't really get to see like what his get up was, his fit, whatever you want to call it. I'm sure he was probably dressed to the nines. But here's the cool thing about Mac. Mac just looked healthier against the Giants, and he performed. You know what I'm saying? So I love that. Robinson scored his first TD as a Niner. So yeah, you talk about Brian Robinson Jr., so let's just declare that, make sure, because there's a bunch of Robinsons on this team. But B-Rob got it, man. We're going to talk about that as well. Prayers to Michael Williams. Defense had fire. Want to see Robinson in the game plan more. I like that you said that because I think the more confident he is in running the system. I was talking to some of the people. I was talking to some of my peoples last night at dinner, right? And they asked me, it was like, well, why do you think, and I like when people ask me questions because now I can give you my opinion, like face to face, right? He's like, why do you think B-Rob, you know what I'm saying? Why are we not seeing him more? He's like, I'm tired of Bobby Turner. And I was like, yeah, I get it. Bobby's a little old school. So I understand. But Bobby's going to rock with what works, period, end of discussion. That's Bobby. And so I said, here's Brian Robinson Jr.'s problem. It's not that he doesn't understand the plays and he doesn't understand the offense. It's him executing what he's supposed to do when he's out there. I think what will help B-Rob more, not the explosive runs, not that, it's his ability to run outside zone. Because you can see that the Niners, and I know he's not an outside zone runner. He doesn't possess that speed. Well, contraire Moon Frere, because you look at his touchdown and a couple of those runs from yesterday, he cut outside. And so I feel like the more he produces in that, the more opportunities he's going to get. Y'all gotta understand that the B-Rob role is the Isaac Guerrero role from last year. The only thing we're not really seeing much of B-Rob this year is in the receiving game. When he's out on the football field, He gets a couple of targets or whatever. I don't know how great of a route running back he is, but I feel like that's one of the biggest differences too. If he can improve in route running or receiving and the outside zone, I think he'll see a few more touches. Leave it at that. Just a few more touches. So you gotta give it time. The good news is this: God forbid, if anything was to happen, he would be the next man up. And then Isaac Guerrero will get his opportunity to back up the next man up. So the way the Niners are running their system, they're not running a 2 running back system. They're not running that. They're not running a two running back system. They will never run that. That's just not who they are. Thank you for the super chat contribution. They're running a running back system who's going to see the majority of the carries, and then somebody's going to have to come in and spell him when he's time to take a break, and they're expecting the production to be the same. Even with Jordan Mason, we would see Jordan Mason pop off for a 21-yard run, and when the leading running back was ready to come back, boom. When Christian McCaffrey was out, we didn't share the ball from Jordan Mason to Isaac Guerrero. That's not what they did. It was like Jordan Mason. And here's how I know, because I know the faithful. They were like, man, don't overwork Jordan Mason. It's just the way Bobby treats his system, guys. I hate to say it. Alejandro, what's going on, baby? Peaches says on TV, sounded like a 49ers home game. Listen, at the stadium, it's not like a 49ers home game. You heard Jackson Dart say, dang, I ain't never, right? Yeah, Jackson, welcome to the NFL. When you play the Niners, the faithful travel, bro. The faithful travel. I will say that, Jackson Dart. Felicia, what's going on, sis? Happy Victory Monday. We are 6-3. 6. Yo, it just. I mean, where's my dancing? Do I have any type of dancing music? No. But let's do the touchdown celebration. Just for being 6-3. It feels good. You know what I mean? It definitely feels good, because this is not your ordinary 6-3. I think that is what makes this is the weirdest 6-3 I've ever seen in my entire life. The weirdest, hands down. But the Niners continue to figure out ways to win, and when they don't win, I just feel like they didn't do enough to figure out how to win the game. You go back and you look at the 3 losses. We're 6-1. Can I remind everybody that we're 6-1 in the NFC? Can we ring the bell for that? We only lost, not 6-1. Are we 6-1? No, we're 4-1 in the NFC. 4-1 in the NFC, right? Am I saying that right? Because we got 6 wins. No, I think I'm saying it right. Yeah, we're 6-1. We only lost to 1 team. I saw the 2 losses came to Jacksonville and Houston. I was right. 6-1. That's crazy, right? They only lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I wonder how they lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oh, I know. An injury occurred. It deflated the defense, and the next thing you know, we just couldn't figure out. We couldn't tackle. Fundamentals was off. Communication was terrible. It was just one of those games where, like, dang, we just couldn't figure out how to close out and win it. A game we were in, a game we could have won. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Tampa. I mean, I felt like they capitalized off of whatever they needed to, and they found a way to win. Their quarterback found a way to win the game. I'll take it, man. 6-1 in the NFC. That's a pretty damn good record. And then your other 2 losses are 2 AFC matchups to the Houston Texans and Jacksonville Jaguars, the AFC South, I believe. Whatever. Niners Nation. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate the super chats. If you guys, I'm not asking you to super chat, but when you do super chat, I just love to spend time on answering and breaking down whatever the hell is you saying, even if I can't read it. Number 2, they do help, so I do appreciate it. I just want y'all to know that. Big and you ready to go there? And this is worth the super chat. So let's take a second, right? Big NFC standings matchups. We were going to talk about this because I got the standings like right here in front of my face, right? So, so the Niners are currently the 6th seed too, by the way. So I just want people to understand what's good. Big NFC standings matchups. Week 10, Rams at Niners. Let me just read your comment. Eagles at the Packers. Patriots at the Bucks. And then can we just focus on week 10 first? So week 10, we got the Niners beating the Rams. We want the Packers to beat the Eagles, correct? I think that's where we are with this because it helps even things out. And then we want the Patriots to put a mud stomping on the Bucks, right? So week 10, are we all in agreement? Can I get the thumbs up if we're all in agreement on that one? Is that a thumbs up? No thumbs up? I don't know. That's how I see it. Week 10, Niners will beat the Rams. We got the Eagles on the road and Green Bay. And Green Bay's coming off of a loss. So they lost to the Panthers. I think they're going to come out pretty on fire. I ain't mad. I think watching their coach, LaFleur, I think he's pretty pissed. So if he's pissed, I know the team's pissed. I'm not taking anything away from the Panthers, but they lost to the Panthers. Anyway, and then you got the Patriots who are red hot. Patriots are like on a 5-game win streak. Wow. But they got a tough matchup, though. I'm not going to hold it. And they're on the road. And it looks like the Bucks may be getting back Bucky Irvin. We know Mike Evans is out. But the Patriots have a defense. The Patriots can probably get it done. So we need the Patriots to win. We need the Patriots, the Packers, and the Niners. The Niners will win. I'm speaking that to exist. Then in week 11, we got the Seahawks at the Rams. Wow, I love it. Right, and then the Niners at the Cardinals. Now I'm not gonna just chalk that up to an easy win because I know the Cardinals will play us to their last leg. They will play us. So that game we got to go out there and dominate. And then the Lions at the Eagles. Wow. And then the Bucks at the Bills. So we need the Bills to do us another service and beat the Bucks again. That will kind of like trickle them down a little bit in the NFC standings, right? And that's what we want. And so as the Niners schedule, continues so here's our next 3 games, right? Thank you so much for the super chat too, by the way. 90 Game Podcast, what's going on, baby? It's my brother Dion right there. Always happy to support my guy. Appreciate you, bro. All right, our next 3 games. We got home against the Rams, road against the Cardinals, and then home Sunday Night Football, which means I'm going to be up to the wee bitty crack of dawn against the Carolina Panthers that are playing hard. And I already got my keys to victory for all 3 of these teams that we got to play. And the number 1 key to victory for all 3 games is to stop the run. That's the number. I'm going to say it right now because those 2-3 teams are going to do their due diligence and try to run the ball. And then Trey Benson may be back for our game. I think he'll be activated off the IR coming off the bye week this week, right? So they'll get their running back. He's not James Conner, but it's Trey Benson. That's really their starting running back. Arizona's going to try to run the ball on us. And then we got to deal with Rico Dowdle, who seems like he's taking over the leading running back roles over in Carolina, which is giving them life, right? Because we know if we run the ball, it does a few things. If you can run the ball successfully, right, it does a few things. It doesn't just open up the play action pass. Yeah, it does. That's cool. But it kind of protects your quarterback from getting beat up because you don't got to throw as much if you're running it successfully. So Niners defense will have some tall tasks coming up in the next 3 weeks. And if they go out there and do their damn thing, Niners can win these other teams. We can get a little bit of help. So I like that. Appreciate you, Dion. Oh my gosh. Where's Miss Cynthia? There she is. Hey, Breezie. Good to see you. However, brief. Yes. She keeps it 100. She just said, listen, it was good to see you, but it was brief. And I don't really appreciate the briefness. But so we met after the game. So like, first of all, it was really good seeing you. I do want to say that. It was really, I love the hugs and walking you to your car. Like you're just an amazing person. And I hope like the way you fan is just so dope, right? You know what I'm saying? So it was good running into you. Well, not running into you. We actually met. So Miss Cynthia made sure. That's Miss Cynthia to y'all. She's Miss Cynthia to me. She's Miss Cynthia to, I don't care if that's a cinnamon kiss. You call her Miss Cynthia. This is what she did though. She made sure. They told her that she couldn't go a certain way. Miss Cynthia, I just realized you broke the law. But since you're a lawyer, you have the right to figure out how to find the loopholes in the law. I thought that was funny. So I'm on my way to try to find a way to get to her, and she is where we said we was going to meet. I was like, you told me you couldn't get there. They wouldn't let you go. Man, she was right there. And then shout out to Nick, because Nick was like, I'm going back to whatever the section was. Nick was like, Breezie, she right here. And I'm like, oh. And so we met. It was so good. And we talked and walked and talked. And Miss Cynthia, here's the funniest thing, right? I got to tell you this. I'm glad you made it home safely and everything. So, you know how the GPS kept telling me to go that certain way? The GPS was right, but I didn't understand it. I don't understand it when you got to walk. It was cool because where I was literally where you were parked. All I had to do was just walk straight across. My dumb self walked all the way back looking for the letters because they were going up. And when I got to the last letter of G, I'm like, well, there's no H. And that was because I had to walk across. So I literally walked a couple of miles just in a radius when I just had to walk across. How stupid was I? I got to practice walking with the GPS. I driving the GPS, I got it down pat. Walking with the GPS is tough, but it was really good to see you, Miss Cynthia. It truly was. Thank y'all for correcting me. It was 6-1, 3-0 in the division. I'll never forget that. That I know, Retro Gaming. 3-1 in the division. We about to be 4-0, 3-0 in the division. We about to be 4-0 in the division. You heard? We about to be 4-0 in the division. I'm marking you. I'm marking those words right there. You know what I'm saying? Niner Faithful, did I see Mike at the game? I saw Mike pregame. I ain't see anybody at the game because once I'm in my seat, unless you come into my seat, I ain't getting up. I don't get up to use the bathroom. I don't eat. I don't do anything, but I am straight focused. Even during the halftime. Halftime, I'm trying to post. So I did see Mike before the game. You know what I mean? Definitely. Big Daddy says, Breezie, your voice sounds better. But then what it was, yo, yeah, it's getting better. It's getting there, man. What happens is I sing too much. And the Panthers are Monday Night Football. My apologies. Thank you, Derek. Appreciate that. Dang. Either way, I'm up to the crack of dawn. Speaking of Monday Night Football is ESPN, right? Monday night ESPN, Sunday night NBC or Peacock or whatever. So there's no more ESPN on YouTube TV. Bums. But thank you for correcting me. Monday Night Football is that. Thank you, Derek. Sorry, I didn't scroll down yet. I'm still stuck on some of these old comments. You know what I'm saying? When is BA returning? Well, it's week 10. I think the window is going to open. I think the window opens. All right? I do. I think the window opens. And I'm excited because the Niners... First of all, can we talk about how the Niners scored 34 points versus their four balls? Like, it's the most points they scored all season. Now, if you predicted, not the actual score, but if you predicted that the Niners were going to score 30-plus points, put a thumbs up in the chat. And don't lie, because I know I got the receipts. I got the receipts, so don't lie. If you predicted, put the thumbs up in the chat. I'm going to raise my hand because I'm not going to put the thumbs up. But if you predicted that, kudos to you. Round of applause because we got the Mac 30. You feel me? We got the Mac 30s. I think now that Mac got a taste of the 30s, ooh, what does that mean for the birdies? Look, I know there's going to be quarterback controversy. I see questions about the refs. I'm going to star those. I know it's going to be a quarterback controversy. It's going to be a quarterback controversy because right now Mac Jones is definitely the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers for whatever the reason is. We know Brock Purdy is dealing with a turf toe injury, and I know it's turf toe now. Finally, I'm convinced it's turf toe because Kyle Shanahan said it. I've been waiting all this time for Kyle Shanahan to confirm the turf toe. Now, he has played around with the terminology of Brock Purdy's injury, and on last night, he slipped. Kyle, caught you slipping, dog. You said it was a turf toe, and with these turf toe injuries, you said it 3 times. You know, they tough, they tricky. So I don't know about Brock. Like, I don't know. No, hold on, let me clarify what I'm saying, because I know people are going to take this and run with it. I don't know about Brock this season. I'm at the point where if the Niners offensive line can sustain this run blocking ability, have Mac only pass maybe 30 times max, run it 40 times plus, that's 70 times total. I'm cool. I think Mac, when he got to drop back 40 plus times, I mean, dude's going to get hit. He's going to get beat up. As long as the Niners formula can be run, heavy, pass to supplement the run, depending on the game plan, I'm cool with that. I think Mac's doing a hell of a job. Round of applause to Mac Jones. I think Mac is doing a hell of a job in running the offense. He's still learning, but he's starting to build a rapport with these guys. Schwan Jennings had a day. So I will say that I want Purdy out there, but I want my Purdy back healthy. We already risked him once. You get the setback. Do you risk him a second time? And I get it. Every time a player comes back out there, it's a risk. So I think that is, that's the trickery question, right? Like, I think for me, I'm cool with Mac rocking out until Purdy's officially ready. Whenever that may be. My thing is, you're winning with Mac. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I know we got a few losses, I know. But if you're winning with Mac and you're seeing progression there, there's no sense of rushing your starter back. Now, if your starter is healthy, 100%, I want him to play. 100%. But if he's teetering that line to where, he's not healthy, okay, well, Mac, you got it. And you can wait till week 14 when you get the bye week, right? And in week 15, you return and you get him in there, and it'll be him like having his little preseason. Like, he'll come back out. We're talking about Brock Purdy now. He'll come back out and he'll have a few games to kind of get acclimated because the Niners will be in the playoffs. So I'm cool with that. Who knows what's going to happen? I don't know about the injury, but Kyle said it wasn't even close to him actually being the starting quarterback, which we thought it was close because he was more limited. Like, he was limited, but it was a better version of the limited. If there is a better version of the limited, it's so crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's crazy. Oh, I see lots of questions out there. Lots of questions. I love doing a live show. I love answering questions. So let's just get to a recap of the game because I spent about 32 minutes doing nothing. All right, Michael Williams, I know that's the question everybody's asking me. What's the injury update? Blase, blase, blah. Goody. Listen, there is no update as of yet, but we already know that Kyle Shanahan is worried about it being an ACL injury. Talking to Michael Williams, he kind of knows or feels it's an ACL injury from his cryptic or non-cryptic posts. He posted when Kobe Bryant got his injuries, and so you can take that however you want. It just sounds like Michael Williams is going to be missing the remainder of the season. So no official update on that as of yet. And if we get it while we're live, we'll talk about it. But that's where we are. So Joel said we won this game, or Joel said we won this game earlier, but at what cost? And here's your cost. Your rookie, your first round pick, unfortunately. And in fourth quarter too, right? Like, man, the luck of the Niners when it comes to injuries has to be the worst luck in the NFL. Man, I know every team has injuries, but the San Francisco 49ers must have the worst of the luck of the injuries. You know what I mean? Just the worst of it. Because it's not, what do you want? It was the end of game. The defense trying to keep the score low. You're still trying to get pressure on Jackson Dart. Stop the run. All the same things you've been doing for the majority of the game. And I saw when he went down and when he didn't get up, it was just like, oh, man, no. Here's what I saw live. Him doing this to his helmet. And that's when I was like, oh, damn. damn. I that's when I knew. It's like, Gus ain't gonna be good. Now, he got up. I ain't see him get up. He got up, he walked off because the crowd, whatever. He got up. So I tweeted, man, it appears he's gonna be okay. Like, it appears, keyword appears. Doesn't mean he's going to be, but I saw him walk to the side. We walked to the sideline. Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. And that is, all right, here we go. My boy Lake City says, Per Schefter on the McAfee show said it's torn. I guess we'll just have to wait for the team. I'm going to wait for the team release, even though Adam Schefter is the insider. But thank you for that. But it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. So the Niners are back in another conundrum, right? Which I thought that they were going to. I did say Brock Jones. I've been calling Brock Purdy, Mac Purdy, and Brock Jones all season long, bro. They confusing me at this point. But we winning, so it don't matter. Here's the funny thing. The Niners are in this defensive, like, twilight zone, right? They get an edge rusher, boom, 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 whatever. It's just weird. So if that's the report, that is the report. You know what I mean? And it's tough. It's tough. It's tough to celebrate the victory knowing you're going to be down another comrade, right? Like, you're going to be down another player. So, yeah, you want to celebrate the victory, and then it's just like, oh, man. And I thought Mykel Williams was a key piece on the defensive side. I mean, he had 3 pressures in the game. He was key. And it was because it's partly of the assignment. The rotation was good. You got good production from your new acquisitions. You're like, yeah, like, this is what we need. Unfortunately, if it is a torn ACL, he's going to be out for the remainder of the season. Before we get to player and stats, I do want to shout out Christian McCaffrey. Now, this is per Matt Miyoko and Nick Wagner. McCaffrey on this season. Now, I know Jonathan Taylor leads the league in rushing touchdowns and probably rushing yards. But when you talk about an all-purpose, complete guy, there is none. And Jonathan Taylor didn't have a good game last week. Just like Christian McCaffrey didn't have a good game against Houston, and that's going to happen. But this dude, man, 596 rushing yards, 626 receiving yards through 9 games. He's on pace, and he's on pace for 1,125 rushing yards, 1,182 receiving yards. Roger Craig, Marshall Faulk, and Christian McCaffrey are the only members of the 1,000 club. Nobody has done it twice. So Christian McCaffrey, if he stays on this pace and can stay healthy, can possibly be the only running back in NFL history to be in the 1,000 club twice. Man, listen, this is good. I know this is not what he's out there to do, but if the defense if he could continue to get back to that run, what we did, Christian McCaffrey rushed for 108 yards yesterday, man. You have no idea how happy I was. Nick Wagner, Christian McCaffrey is over 500 rushing and 500 receiving yards for the season. He's the second player in the past 10 years to do that within the first 9 games. Look who he's in this circle with, Saquon Barkley, and he's also the second Niner to do it, joining Roger Craig. Now, I'm gonna ask a question. So if he's joined Roger Craig, I know Roger Craig's not in the Hall of Fame, and we can sit there and we're gonna be mad. Does Christian McCaffrey right now, let's just say he's joined Roger Craig, does Christian McCaffrey make it into the Hall of Fame? If he was to retire right now, does Christian McCaffrey make it into the Hall of Fame? And I think that's a legitimate question, because if he's already equal to Roger Craig as the Niner to do what he just saw him do, he already got the 1,000 club joint, and he's on pace to being the only running back to do it twice. Would that get him in? I'm just asking. I'm just asking. Roger Craig got Super Bowls. Christian McCaffrey doesn't have it. So I think that's a legitimate question. You don't have to answer right now. Just leave it in the back of your mind. Just curious to know what you thought. But congratulations to Christian McCaffrey and the San Francisco 49ers. I still think Christian McCaffrey is carrying this offense on his back. I really do. I think he's carrying the offense on his back. It's like when you need a play, you hit up CMC. And we're seeing more of the rushing side, too, which is great. Again, 108 yards on yesterday. How many yards was he averaging per carry? Let's see. Christian McCaffrey, 28 carries, 106 yards, 3.8. So slightly under that 4. Did have the rushing TD, but he also had the receiving TD. So 2 TDs, 2 total TDs for him on the day. He led the team in targets with 5 receptions for Christian McCaffrey for another 67 yards. Christian McCaffrey has been balling all season long. And you need this, right? I know people are worried about Christian McCaffrey, but I don't even think Christian McCaffrey is worried about Christian McCaffrey. So y'all might need to tone y'all worrying down. Just let this man go out there and freaking cook. He's cooking. He's cooking. He's freaking cooking. You know what I'm saying? So just let him cook. Let him do what he does best. Christian McCaffrey is out there cooking. And he's looking better and better as each week goes by. You can tell he's just getting certain nuances back to his game, and he's looking a little bit better as each week goes by. Now, I'm going to tilt this down just a little bit so I could just be a little right there on screen. All right, cool. So let's get to this game recap, man. And I saw a lot of stuff out there. Everybody, you want to talk about the penalties? Let's talk about the penalties because I thought the Niners didn't get some obvious calls, right? And then I thought the Niners obviously are going to get calls that go against them, whatever. The penalty game, it was 6-5. The Niners had one more, but they had 11 more penalty yardage in this game. I think the most questionable non-call is going to be that pass interference call. But I think it's a tie. Or I'm going to ask you. There were 2 calls in this game that the Niners didn't even get. So that was a non-call. So we can't even really put that in there. But do you think that would have turned or changed the outcome of the game had that been a pass interference call on Jawan Jennings in the end zone? Niners would have got the ball at the 1-yard line. So let me know what you guys think about that. The other scenario or the other actual call I thought was a bull call, right? It was a bull call. It was. And it was the penalty on Tatum Bethune on hitting Jackson Dart as he was a runner. Now, I have not rewatched it, but I do remember my initial take was he already down on the ground and then got hit? And if that was the case, they should have called a late hit. I guess you can call a late hit. That personal foul. But the personal foul, they called the personal foul call, so I wasn't really understanding why, if he was a runner and he didn't give himself up. Now, when quarterbacks run with the ball and they give themselves up, they slide feet first. When they're running head first, it's different. If it wasn't helmet to helmet from Tatum Bethune, then why was that a call? I'm trying to understand why. What did you see on television? Peachy told me what she saw. She said it was BS. They said the announcers said it was BS. I'm just curious to know, what the freak was that? And here's Niner Faithful says, the announcers even said they didn't know, they didn't how Bethune got flagged for that hit on Dart. Right, he was a runner. I'm not understanding it. And to me, this is what I feel like these defensive players, right? This is what I feel like these defensive players, this is why they struggle, because of the rules. And so, football is supposed to be an impact sport within the rules, right? And so if the rule says that the quarterback doesn't give themselves up, slide feet first, then you can address them as a running back. Stay away from their helmet. Don't lead with your helmet. All those rules still apply. It sounded like it was a clean hit. right? You know what I mean? Ty says, I think the call for the hit on Dart is subjective. So that's why I'm asking. And that's why I wanted to be here, because I really felt like that's a play that kept them alive, right? It hurt the defense, but it kept the Giants in the game. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. On TV, says he was technically still in the pocket, but I thought he was running as a runner. I thought so he didn't run as a runner. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought he was running as a runner. I didn't know it was just a pocket hit to where he was trying to escape pressure. I thought he gave himself up. I thought he turned into a runner. So maybe I got to watch the film and then I'll know. Haven't gotten a chance to rewatch it. Nigel says Dart didn't give himself up. It was a Mahomes type of play. See? That's all I needed to hear. That's all I needed to hear. That's all I needed to hear. They wanted to keep him in the game, and that's another thing. And the Zebras do that all the time. SF49 Quest for 6, finally caught alive. Thanks for being in here. Miss Leslie says he did commit to the, see, that's what I thought. So if he commits to the run, I don't know why that was a call. Anyway, I'm glad the commentators and the announcers, they felt like it was bull crap or whatever. This is the one that really bothered me, because when you slow this down and you see Jawad Jennings grabbed around the waist and interfered with, I don't know what pass interference is, but I thought pass interference is if the receiver is interfered with and trying to catch the pass. And now if the defender would have turned his head, possibly, you know what I'm saying? It was playing for the ball. It didn't have the arm draped around my man Juwan. Yeah. But that ain't what I saw. It's not what I saw. As a bang play, it looked like PI. When you slow down frame by frame, it still looks like PI. Why wasn't it called? Because you're just not going to get those calls. Now, I'm not the type of person that's going to sit there and say, oh, the refs blew this game, blah, 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 blah. But these are the things that I feel like as the Niners, as offensive players, defensive players, because don't get it twisted, the Niners made some mistakes. They made some mistakes. They had some dumbass penalties, especially on the offensive side. Like Colt McKivitz, false start, false this, false that, false a 5, false for flyer, whatever. Stop falsing. Be right for a change. But at this, the Niners got to stop hurting themselves. There are times they shoot themselves in the foot, and then they're not going to get these benefit of the doubt calls. You know what I mean? They're not going to get the benefit of the doubt calls. That's just how it is. That's why execution it has to be to perfection. I think my most frustrating penalty, the most frustrating one, was the illegal procedure penalty. It was on a 3rd and 1. You guys are frustrated with the play call. I get it. I'm with you. I feel you. I do. Kyle didn't have to be cute. But man, if that would have worked and got the 1 yard, that would have been funny. Right? It would have been something to talk about. We would have been celebrating, actually, because you got Mac Jones playing with the wristband, like dialing up something from like 2006. You know what I'm saying? And we're just like, and then the ball's direct snapped it to Kyle Juszczyk, and he gets the first down. And then you get the illegal shifting and all that stuff going on. And I'm just like, oh, man, God dang it. Who was on the football field? Who effed this up? And so for Kyle's innovation, you give him credit. But then it's like, Kyle, why would you do that when you just needed 1 yard? You didn't have to be innovative there. I think that's what a lot of people were feeling. I'm like, no. They knew we were going to quarterback sneak it. We did it. We were successful the last time. I guess people just say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you can quarterback sneak once, you can quarterback sneak again. What happens if we didn't get it and had to go for it on 4th and 1? Or what happens if our guy ends up with a concussion? So it was just one of those things. Like, I wasn't actually upset with the play call. I was pissed off at the execution and the simple fact that they even executed it right. It was the pre-snap execution, man. Damn, they even got the first down. It would have been a first down. I don't know. I like to see Kyle try some things. Kyle was trying some things, though. I mean, it was a tight end run. The fudge was that. 3-yard loss right off the bat. I was like, all right, Kyle. That was before the cute 3rd and 1, though. But I'm just like, oh, Kyle trying some things, which is cool because you store it and then you go back on film and you try to perfect it. I know, I get what our coach was doing. I know people feel like I love Kyle Shanahan. I do love Kyle Shanahan. I love every person, player, personnel, staff that wears 49ers clothing. I do. And then when you leave, you're an enemy. Simple. So I do love Kyle Shanahan. I'm not going to lie. I just feel like, damn, man, that would have been a trick in the bag. We never seen anything like that, right? Anyway, it'll probably come back. Maybe we'll bring it out again into the play, into the thing. Thank you, Gabe. Thank you, Gabe. That's my dog. That's my man. That's we want. All right, fan base. Let me ask you this, man. You want Kyle to be innovative. You want Kyle to be creative, and then when he does it and it doesn't work, we blame Kyle. Cool. No problem. But dang, like, at least give him the credit for trying something different. That was a Ben Johnson though type play, man. Like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. That ball was direct snapped. You know what I'm saying? All right, man. Let's go over some plays, man. Christian McCaffrey, again, offensively, was my player of the game. He just had a phenomenal game. Just the all-purpose yards are there, over 160, I think. What did I say? 67 plus 106. Yep. Yeah, man. That dude was balling, 170, something like that. Dude was balling, and sound like 173 if I can add properly. I don't know. Maybe not. 2 touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey continues to find ways to carry this team. Loved what I saw from Brian Robinson Jr. I think he's starting to understand the nuances and what he needs to do to fit the offense. It's not about the offense fitting him. It's about his ability to fit this offense. And the more he continues to make plays, you could talk about Brian Robinson Jr. or B-Rob running the ball. I want to talk about the one kick return for 41 yards. It's back-to-back weeks where he had 40-yard kick returns. We ain't seen that since forever. This cat is doing what he needs to do to get on this football field and to help this team out. And that's a selfless player. I love it. I love it so much. If I had to pick a person that I felt is on the rebound and really trying to help themselves offensively, man, if y'all don't show some love to Juwan Jennings, I know people have been trashing this young man because he just doesn't seem like he's been in it. His energy's been off. His chi has been off. His ego, this is that, and the third, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Cool. I didn't know the call was on Juice. My bad. So he lined up in the wrong place. Cool. Can't wait to rewatch that. Juice, get your shit together. You like the smartest dude on the team, bro. You can't be messing that up. Maybe Juice didn't know it was going to be a direct snap. I don't know. They got to communicate that. If it was Juice, it was Juice. But it was the illegal formation procedure type of thing that they called. So it probably was Juice. He was probably lined up in the wrong spot. Makes perfect sense now. Thank you for that, Big Daddy Niners. But I really did like what I saw from Juwan Jennings as far as from an effort based. I saw him flying into piles, trying to push piles. Like just the run blocking I thought was a little bit better, in my opinion. Probably his best run blocking day this season. You know, the players dealing with all these crazy injuries, rib injuries, all these injuries, upper body injuries that affect him. Man, like, it was really good to see him. He seemed like those injuries were starting to fade away, right? You're seeing him try to make these contested one-hand catches with being interfered with in the end zone. And he got a touchdown in this game. Did y'all see the whip route? When you see a whip route, immediately, who is the first person you think of when you see the whip route? For me, is Brandon Ayuk. I mean, Brandon perfected the whip. What's the kid from the Adams? A good whip route runner, right? I mean, that's when you stick your feet, you plant you run your little 5-7 steps, you plant your feet, and you make the defense go one way, and you just whip it round the other way, and you just be wide open. I mean, the whip route the blocking was superb too on that, but the whip was just like whoosh. I thought I was on some Indiana Jones stuff right there. It was just perfection for a person dealing with injuries and able to crisp that route. The injuries are starting to fade away, and that's good because the second half of the NFL season is finally upon us, y'all. It is November. It is November football. This is when games matter. December football, when games matter. Because now you're playing for playoffs And so I think Jawan Jennings is right on time. You know what I mean? Right on time. I got a question from Niner Faithful. Ooh. Bro, that was an amazing catch. That was an amazing catch. This, first of all, one target, one catch. It was 2 yards, but it was 4 first down. And I saw two things on that. Number one, Mac is progressing, and we're not really talking about it enough. This is not the first game he threw into a tight window, too, by the way. We watched Brock Purdy do this a year or two ago. Remember Kyle would get on his ass? Now you're starting to see Mac do it. And so you're throwing into these tight windows because not every window in the zone is going to be wide open. But man, the throw was perfectly placed to where only that's progression, to where only his receiver could make a play. It was low. But my point is, from Jordan Watkins' first 2 targets, missing the one, and then catching the second one, until his third target, you're seeing this young fella make the adjustment. And so I love the progression that we're getting from Brock, but to focus on, you asked me about the Watkins, that catch extended the drive. So I would say you're gonna get more Jordan Watkins, and I think Jacob Cowing we won't see this season, but I think you get more Watkins. And if the practice window of Ayuk opens around week 10, because we need Ayuk, you need Pearsall too. We don't know when the hell Pearsall's coming back, but he's not on the IR, so the hope is he can come back any week. But you're gonna get Pearsall. If Jordan Watkins is progressing, Sky Moore caught another big pass in this game. He had 1 target for 21 yards, so his long was 21. So like these guys are starting to take advantage of the targets, and you know who we're starting to see less of? I don't know if this is a shot. I'm not trying to take a shot at DeMarcus Robinson, but you're starting to see other people kind of like move up the ladder here. So the good thing is the Niners are getting production from non kind of star players, and that was a moment where he just caught that pass, bro. I don't know what to say. I like that was a great catch, in my opinion. Great catch. Filthy says, Kawakami says Cowing had 4 hamstring injuries this season. Keeps re-injuring it. Yeah, he's done. He can stick a fork in it. Yeah, he'll probably be done for the season, and it's okay. It's okay. Peachy says Dominic Pooney had a better showing. Yeah, Pooney looked pretty damn solid out there in this game. Finally. Maybe his injury situation is improving as well. We talk about that, like these players and these injuries and things like that. But Dominic Pooney, as far as and offensively, like he definitely balled out. I think he did his job up front. He was the highest graded offensive lineman too per BFF, just overall. Highest graded, and he played all 66 snaps. You know what I'm saying? So. That's what you like to see, man. You want to see, these guys improve as far as their pressures and stuff like that. I mean, he gave up 1 pressure in this game, and it was a hurry. So definitely improvement from Dominic Pooney. I thought off the offensive line itself just looked better because they were able to run the ball, and so like that right there to me made the offensive line just looked that much better. Like the fact that we were able to move the ball, the fact that we stuck with the run, we were able to run it. And we got some chunk runs too, right? This wasn't like 2, 3, 4 yards. Now we got some chunky chunks of plays. But then in the pass protection, I mean, name a game. I don't think this, you know what? I would have to check 6 pressures from the offensive line. And I know you were focused on Pooney Peachy, but I think overall 6 pressures. Wow, that's it. That's all they gave up. Yeah, 2 of them were sacks, but 6 pressures. Wow. And Colton McKivitz, look, I thought Cole McKivitz was the worst offensive lineman, even though he was highly graded. It's weird, but because he was graded probably off of efficiency. But when you factor in that penalty, that sucked. He gave up 3 pressures. One of them was a sack. The sack was to Brian Burns. I think Burford was responsible for the fumble. Like, look, I thought the offensive line night and day against that type of a pass rush. I think that's what it was. NM Lobo, 1948. I didn't think Burford was bad. I really don't. Now, Kyle Shanahan said that he didn't believe that play that Burford gave up the sack was on Burford. So I can't wait to see what the film says or, what I see on film. I thought Burford looked good. I thought he was definitely better in run blocking. I thought the 49ers offensive line looked like a cohesive unit for the first time. And that's what Burford playing left guard, He's more of a right guard. He played a whole season on the right side. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's where I am with it. What's going on, Melissa? Good afternoon to you as well. And look, man, as the Niners continue to, the Burns fumble came from the right side. All right. And I'm talking about the sack from Spencer Burford. My bad. So, yeah, the fumble McKivitz is just tough, man. Look, McKivitz struggles against the speed. It's the guys have length and speed. It's weird. But they got power, but they're not necessarily using their power, right? If you go back to last week, I thought McKivitz looked the worst because he had to deal with the speed of Will Anderson. And then this week, you already know. And then next week, it's going to be Jared Verse. So we'll see how it pans out. But you're right, Steve. The fumble that looked like an interception, but the fumble came from the right side because it was the pressure from Brian Burns. He caused the deflection, and then boom, fumble or whatever, and they got the ball. You know what I'm saying? They got the ball. But Burford did give up a sack in this game, and so Kyle was reflecting what Kyle said. He didn't believe that sack was on Burford. So if you're a PFF grade reader and you see Burford really low, he gave up a sack in this game. So I just want to put that out there. He gave up a sack in this game. But he didn't give up. He gave up 1 pressure, which was the sack. So I thought 6 total pressures. I got to go check this because, all right, so 6 pressures. Week 8 was 16. I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning of the time. Week 7 was 6, so 6 may be the lowest number. Week 6 was 18. God dang. Week 5 was 16. I'm still going. I got a few more weeks. Week 4 was 16. We might see an improvement. Nope. Week 3 against the Cardinals. Week 3 was 11. My bad. Week 3 was 11. Week 2 against the Saints, 6. And week 1 against the Seahawks, 10. So 6 has been the lowest amount of pressures that the offensive line has given up. That's the number for the season. You know what I'm saying? So, look, I think once McKivitz doesn't have to, deal with that speed on the outside, he'll get back to normal. But he got to figure out how to handle that because those guys are just going to wreak havoc to our quarterback, whoever the quarterback is, whether it's Jones or Purdy. Like, you got to figure that out. Now, I know the Niners could do some things. They could line a tight end up or motion a tight end out there to chip the edge, at least get a little chip on them if they're going to release and go out for a pass. There's ways to help. There's ways to help. Ty says, yes, we can blame McKivitz, but it just isn't this week. It's almost it's not every week for McKivitz. Some weeks he's playing really good. It's when he's dealing with these speed strong dudes. You know what I'm saying? Speed strong dudes. As far as from a defensive side, 12 missed tackles. And I told you, defensively, I didn't think the defense had a great game. I think the defense overall were making some players that made really good plays. Like I thought the PBU by Jair Brown in the end zone was phenomenal. I thought the coverage from Renardo Green phenomenal. And Renardo Green was the number 1 rated defender in this game. But then you got to look at the types of pressures that they were able to get. They got 15 pressures in this game. 15 pressures in this game. So a couple of sacks, right? You got the Sam Okuwanu sack in this game, and you got the big hit by Cleveland Farrell sack. And I do want to point out that, man, listen, you got Cleveland Farrell coming off of the couch, and you traded for Keion White, who led the team in the pressure rate with 33.1% pressure rate. I believe that's what it was. Like, right, let me just make sure I got the number right. Let me switch this up real quick. I mean, that's pretty damn good. I mean, this dude is getting pressure, period. He had the highest pass rushing grade, 31.3% win rate for him. That's amazing. No sacks, but he was getting pressures. You know what I'm saying? He was getting pressure. So you have to take into account, like, the defense. Hopefully, if they can find ways to remain healthy, they're gonna only get better. They got some key tool players, but they still gave up too many big plays and dumb plays, in my opinion. You know, dumb plays, in my opinion. Steve, poor play design on the fumble. Should have chipped. That's what I said. I'm with you. Trust me, I'm with you. But you're also expecting your edge to be able to handle one-on-ones. I think that's kind of like where it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think that's what you're expecting. Yeah. Yep, Keion White was wearing 56. Stout was definitely impressive. He just plays really big. You know, he plays really big, in my opinion. So, look, the Niners did everything they needed to do to win. Now, I would have been higher on the defense had they not given up damn near the points they gave up toward the end of this game. You know what I mean? I thought the defense just needed to find a way to close, and they were getting dumb penalties, and they were also giving up big explosive plays down the football field. It's just like they were playing this soft coverage, and I like this. The soft shell just doesn't sit right with me. And I know it's bend, don't break, and you keep out the end zone, but you had to know if you got close to the end zone, you had to know that they were going to put the ball in Jackson Dart's hand. I really do feel that way. You know what I mean? That's just my thing. So I like what I saw from certain players from the defense. I thought Stout was good. I thought Cleveland Farrell had a nice little comeback. I thought, first of all, Tatum Bethune had like 16 total tackles in this game with the PBU, you know, but I think he also led the team in missed tackles too. So that's like, you know what I'm saying? That's something we got to take into account. But you're playing a mobile quarterback. Like, Jackson Dart was making everybody miss. Everybody. 12 missed tackles in this game. Who led? So D. Winters, Tatum Bethune, Diamador Lenore. The missed tackle that pissed me off the most. Can you guess? All right, I'll tell you right now. D. Winters, Tatum Bethune, D-Mo, Cleveland Farrell, all four had 2 missed tackles. Which one of these players do you feel I was the most disappointed in on their missed tackles? Is it D. Winters, Bethune, Lenore, or Farrell? Let's see what you guys got. Let's see how well you guys know me out there in the live chat, right? I'll get to some questions as well. Alejandro, hey, Wayne, you think the Niners making a big trade today? I think that by tomorrow they're going to have somebody new on this roster. I absolutely do. Whether it goes down today or not, they're going to have somebody on this roster. Melissa's saying Sam O. He did have a big missed tackle in this game, but that wasn't the one that was the worst for me. It was the Demo, because the Demo missed tackle actually gave up a touchdown. I don't know if you guys remember that, but that's the one that really pissed me off. Don't Bother Me was the first to say it. Yo, it was that, because you have to know, damn, if I'm going to hit this guy, I got to finish it, right? So he's a vet. Now, if this was a rookie, second-year player, cool beans, I ain't going to trip over it, but you gave up 6 points, my boy. And so, like, that right there, unacceptable, Demo. And I feel like for Demo, all he had to do was continue to push him out of bounds. He just went for this big hit, and it's like he just gave up. And then Theo was like, oh, you giving up on me? Cool, no problem. I'm stronger than you anyway. I'm bigger and stronger than you. I'm just going to keep running and keep my balance and stay in balance. And he gets a touchdown. First touchdown of the game. Like, that was on Demo, and that can't happen. I don't care if he's covering the tight end. It doesn't matter. He has to finish that. That was a big missed tackle. I don't think the Giants really had what it took to score on the San Francisco 49ers without some help. And I'm not talking about help from the refs. We helped these motherfuckers get 6 points. Real talk. Real talk. So for me, that tackle was weak. That tackle was weak. Weak. And I got problems with that because he a dog. And I expect him to continue to be a dog. But part of being a dog is finishing your tackles, bro. Finish your food, dog. Finish it. You got to finish that. Now, luckily, the offense was able to come down and counter it and even the game out. But, bro, the defense can't keep getting on the football field and giving up big plays just because of fundamentals. I expect fundamentals from guys like Alfred Collins, Michael Williams, those guys. Not fundamentals, mistakes, and hiccups from my guy Demo. Man, that just not gonna sit right with me. And here's the thing, right? Y'all know I love me some Demo, so I hope it sits right with. It doesn't sit right with him. I hope he realized, like, damn, that was my bad. All right, I got you, and then come on later next month, because next week, this Sunday, I already know Demo gonna play big. It ain't even a question or a doubt in my mind. That was just a boo-boo. That was a boo-boo. That's how I'm looking at it. That was a boo-boo. And I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it on the boo-boo at the field. If Melissa says Solid gave him easy, listen, look, this is probably the soft defense, the soft defense. Yeah, like that, the soft defense. I don't feel like these players are soft, so why play soft defense? Clearly they don't understand the concepts of the soft coverage. And that's a problem. So let these guys be physical, man. Let these guys play a little bit closer up. If they get beat one-on-one, if they get beat, to their spot or whatever, chalk it up to that being a better rep from the offensive side. I actually trust these players to win one-on-ones. I do. But when you giving up the space and the zone, you're playing this, whatever, then you got cats trying to think out there on the football field. And that's where the Niners defense struggles. They struggle when they got to think. They don't have their philosopher out there anymore. Fred Warner's not out there anymore. You know what I'm saying? Melissa, I agree with you. Felicia says I think that was his first touchdown he gave up to. I think that was the first touchdown he gave up. I sure do. And here's the thing. I believe in Diamador so much that will be his last. I can tell you that right now. Because Debo's a dog. Don't get it twisted. I think Demo probably thought I hit him enough and he was out of bounds. That's the only thing that makes sense. Only thing that makes sense in my opinion. Only thing. I think he hit him so hard he was like, oh, yeah, he out. But nah, the foot never went out. And it looked like on the replay, they showed the replay, it looked like the foot went out, but it didn't. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah Lancaster with a super chat contribution, bro. What's good, fam? It says defense has to be better. Let me just read your stuff. This weekend against the Rams, and it has to be able to generate pressure on Stafford. Also, Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams been cooking. Now, Puka, I feel like, did he leave the game with the injury or something? I don't know. Puka's dealing with some type of injury, but he was back. So, yeah, Devontae Adams is still the guy. Dude's like 90 and can still run routes. So, he's still the man. So, you're right. And I think where the defense has to be better is communicating. Because now you're going to be dealing with two crazy scheme fit slant gods deep down the field. However you want to say it, these guys can run the route trees, right? And yeah, like I said, I think Demo understands these guys a lot better. So I think Demo's game plan will be a little bit different. He's not hitting. And don't get it, you know what? And Demo, am I saying Demo? And Demo's offense, that's a big ass tight end too, by the way. That's why you got to make sure you forcing him to get out of bounds if you're not going to be able to tackle him or whatever like that. But it was a missed tackle because he didn't. I think knowing that he's going to be playing against these other guys, man, I just feel like it's a different mindset. It's not going to be a tight end. And I don't think the Rams, the Rams don't have a tight end as big as Theo Johnson. Like, you know what I'm saying? Dude's tall, pretty solid cat out there, who dropped the ball like 4 times. He dropped the ball a couple times, right? So we had some luck on our side, in our opinion. We definitely did. But thank you for the super chat contribution. I do appreciate that 100%. So look, the Niners, let's quickly go through the grades and then put your live grades in here, man. You know what I'm saying? 49ers top 5 offensive PFF, defensive PFF. Some surprises because, Sky Moore, that's a surprise. Brian Robinson, you would expect because he just looked dominant out there. Dominic Pooney, not a surprise. This is what you expect from Dominic Pooney, to always be ranked high. I think the one I got my eyes on was Colton McKivitz because I'm like, on what earth was Colton McKivitz that dude? Now, again, run blocking was pretty solid. He gave up the sack, but I just don't think it was like, I don't know why we didn't help him, which is what in this live chat. I don't know why we didn't help him. I don't know why there wasn't a tight end over there to chip a guy like Brian Burns, the NFL sack leader. I will give kudos to Chris Forrester. Chris says, I believe in my guy. So I think my guy can win, you know what I'm saying, the one-on-one. He didn't win a couple of them joints, you know what I mean? He won maybe 1 out of the 3 that he was in. He didn't win them, So going forward, got the Rams. The Rams going to be a lot tougher up front, in my opinion. They're going to be a lot tougher because they're solid from end to end, right? They're solid from end to end. Dexter Lawrence was good, but from the Giants, but the Rams are solid from middle, end, right? They're solid. So it's going to be a little bit different. And I know we played the Rams already and we beat them, and cool. Different version of the Rams too, by the way. I mean, we just like it's a different version of the Niners. Okay? They're just going to be different. It's just week 10 version of both teams. Both teams dealing with ailments, injuries, and things like that. And so got to find another way to defeat that team. You got to find another way. Overall, for me, defensively, I just didn't think that the defense was great. I thought there were specific players that made specific plays at specific moments that stood out. If I had to give a defensive grade or pick my defensive player like I did on the offensive side, I said it was Christian McCaffrey. I'll go with Renardo Green. I think Renardo Green showed that he can be a lock. Now, where he struggles is in zone, and so we'll see how the Rams try to trip him up a little bit. But when he's going to man, that dude is locked on like a pit bull's grip, bro. You know what I mean? Locked on like a pit bull's grip. Melissa says overall B-. I like it. I think that's what they deserve. Even in a 10-point win, I think B- sounds about right. McKivitz was an F-. I think McKivitz struggled the past 2 weeks. I really do. I really do. I really think they were struggling. He struggled the past couple of weeks. But I feel like he plays well against the Rams. No matter who it is, he plays a lot better against the Rams, For me, the grade, I'm kind of like with Melissa in this, man. I feel like I'm in. Overall, I feel like I'll give it a B-. I thought the offense still could have been better. Don't get it twisted. I thought the offense still could have been a little bit better. But they put up 34 points. We got to shout out our guy, Eddie Money P or Eddie Dinero Panero, whatever it is we want to call him. This dude is 19 for 19 on the season, and he kicked another 50-yard field goal. Yo, I feel like Eddie has several 50-yarders on this season. The cat continues to be money. He got his 2 opportunities out there. He made the damn best of those 2 opportunities. Nope, I'm not here trying to jinx him. I just know that the confidence of saying, all right, we don't got to be super gutsy all the time. Let's give our kicker an opportunity, get the ball within his range. 54 yards was his long, and it's just dope. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? It's just dope. You know what I'm saying? Big Daddy Niners with a question. Breezy, what nickname would you give the players on defense? You want me to go through the whole defense and give everybody nickname? Oh, my gosh. Maybe I'll do that with Mike. Maybe that'd be a nice little exercise. Can I save that with Mike? But I like our defense. I know they're young, but it's something about this defense that I feel like because they're young, they're able to be a little bit more resilient. So overall, like, they're definitely a resilient bunch. There's sometimes they're gonna get beat, sometimes they're gonna get beat up, but they remain resilient. And I know that's not a nickname. That's how I'm describing the defense. But I gotta think about it because I don't know if I want to go. I don't want to if I want to go animal mode or what. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be interesting. But I definitely will get to that. I'm not gonna lie. I'll get to it. Snoop says, you think that shot to the face that made Mac bleed from his nose was intentional? No, I don't think it was intentional. I don't know why the refs didn't call it. That's another missed call. Should have been hands to the face. I mean, how many times we hear that? I just don't know why they don't call certain things, but I don't think it was intentional. Should have been a personal foul though, right? Easily should have been a personal foul, easily. All right, so the stipulations is to leave out the hyena and little bear. So I'm definitely gonna go with animals since we already got 2 animals. I gotta find an animal for Tatum Bethune. I feel like Tatum Bethune, it's like the Tasmanian devil. Like, you know what I mean? Kind of like replacing what Hufanga was. I thought Hufanga played like the Tasmanian devil. I feel like that's how Tatum Bethune plays. Packs a punch. And Hufanga used to be a pack puncher too, right? Like those guys used to be some hitters. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. But I'll go through that. I promise you. I got you. Guys, this has been an amazing show. Thank you guys so much for your Super Chat contributions. Melissa says, Breezy, you're going to give him a Cobra Kai nickname for the defense? No. Like, I mean, I am a fan of Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai do or die. But not like I'm going to go through and name the players and give them some animal names. For sure. Definitely. I want to find the right animals. You know what I mean? I want to find the right animals. I was about to say, if we had a player that I felt like he'll, like, plays like I don't know. Give me some time. I think Tasmanian Devil for Tatum Bethune fits because that cat's all over the football field. Man, must be so good to be young. And remember, Tasmanian Devil wasn't so much of not a fast animal. It's just an animal that moves well in space, right? Like quickly. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think that fits him. And he's just all over the football field. I love it for him. You know what I mean? I love it. But guys, you guys have been awesome crowd. Give yourselves a round of applause. Live chat is always so fun because we can always steer and go different with the show. I'm not calling him a chihuahua, man. Even though I know he's little, but chihuahuas aren't all bark. I don't get that from Stout. Give me another dog that's little, that's bite and bark. I feel like chihuahuas they bark because they know they're tiny and they're gonna intimidate you with all these stupid barks. Right? Give me a different dog that might be small and might be tiny. I can't do. He's tiny, but I can't do him like that because that dude packs a punch. You know what I mean? He packs a big punch, Gabriel. So, I thought German Shepherds were bigger than, whatever. I was thinking Wolverine for Stout too, but I didn't want people to be like, oh, Breezie, here go Breezie with the Wolverine. So I went Tasmanian Devil. I was going to find another Wolverine, though. Trust me. I was thinking about it. Maybe D. Winters is more like a Wolverine. Always hurt and find ways to recover. I'm thinking the character. I don't know, but we'll have fun with it. I promise you, man. Love you guys, man. Stay faithful to the Bay. Listen, man, we are. Oh, I got a couple other questions. He says, Niners Park, how many picks are you willing to burn this window? I'm not sure what he means. Does he mean to get a player, or he doesn't like my screen? I don't know. But to get a player, it depends on who the player is. It sounds like since he wants a first, I don't know anybody in their right mind will give him a first round pick for a rental. It sounds like you can get a Chubb for a third. I'm cool with that. Arden Key, you could probably get for a sixth or a seventh. I'm probably super cool with that, but then you're like, oh, how much is he really going to help impact? Then there's the Jermaine Johnson from the Jets. That's the younger guy. Sounds like he's going to be targeted as a Robert Saleh guy. Hey, you can get him for a third. Sign me up. I know the one guy we better stay away from. After watching Kayvon Thibodeau pay. I think he's talking trade too. At first, I thought he wanted Burns. I'm like, shit, I'll give him a couple first round picks. You know what I'm saying? You give me Brian Burns. That's what I thought he was asking. But because I just love Brian Burns, right? I don't love him much as Brad, but Brian Burns is what this defense needs. Like that's the guy. Like that will sum it up. Then you can replenish that with a little Bryce Huff as he returns. Don't forget we're gonna get Bryce Huff back as well, and some of these other guys. But man, you get a Brian Burns, it's almost like yes. Isn't he the sack leader in the NFL? I don't know, but for me, it's a lot. They're gonna make a move. For whom or what? It might not even be anybody. We might not even get an edge rusher. So you guys just got to stay locked in because it's going to be fun at the end of the day. But the Niners are 6-3, and they're finding ways to win. And I think what they're going to have to do is keep putting stuff in the vending machine, the one where you could win the prize. You know what I'm saying? Put another quarter in and spin it and see what you get. And that's what we're going to do by the trade deadline. I mean, they got some key specific guys they could bring in here. I know there's the report out there from Chase Sr. talking about going after Jackson Powers Johnson. Yeah, but I don't see the Raiders trading up a center. Like, do you know how hard it is to draft offensive linemen? I don't see that happening. Now, y'all know when we was coming out of college, that's where I thought the Niners were going to go, but they didn't. But that would help solve a lot in the future of the 49ers, especially on the offensive line. He'd be an immediate starter right there. But I just don't see the Raiders giving him up when they're going to need a center. So, I don't know. Defense sounds like it's the way they're going to go. This game right here, we prove we can score. We can say that the Giants' defense is weak. It was trash. What happens when they go out and drop 30 plus points against the Rams? We going to come back here and have this conversation? I'm here for it. I'll be here that Monday after the game, and we could talk about it because I know everybody's going to be excited. The Niners put up 30 plus points against Sean McVay's defense. It's going to be electrifying. Make sure you stay locked in here all week. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel. If you're not already subscribed, smash that like button. Go ahead and leave comments. If you're not watching the live show, you watch the repass. If you're listening to it on a podcast, leave a review. All right. And make sure your alerts are set to all. We got plenty of videos coming out weekly and daily just for you. It's your boy Breezie. Keep it faithful to the Bay. We out. Peace. What's up, faithful? Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And make sure you check out some of the other cool videos.